Hi guys, and welcome to the Gremlin's Lair.
Hello.
For those of you who are new, I'm Fana, and this is my boyfriend Bobby, who is gung-ho and ready, apparently.
You I think the past couple episodes you kind of passed it off to introduce myself, but it's all good. It's all good. I like when you introduce me. You do it a lot better than I do. So
obviously we did not do it too terribly well this time.
No, we didn't. It's okay. There's always next time, so we're okay.
There won't be a next time.
Never. This is actually the last episode of the podcast. We're gonna just kill it after this.
Honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Sayonara.
Yep, sayonara. It was a good ride, good 9-episode ride, but it's obvious when things come to an end. You know, you kind of had to kill your darlings.
Like this relationship.
Ooh, man. Find out next episode. This is actually going to become a romantic drama.
Well, if this is the last episode, is that the point? Find out next episode, and then this is the last episode.
It's going to be like the old time radio shows. I was like, find out next time on the Gremlin's Lair, and some spooky, stupid theme song kind of goes along with it. It's fantastic.
You get right on that.
I'm working on it. Actually, would love to do a radio show.
We are doing the modern equivalent
a narrative,
of a radio show.
A narrative. Unless we've been keeping a narrative and that we love each other or something. Maybe that's the narrative.
Like that.
Yeah, there's got to be an arc to
that. Even if it's fiction.
Yeah, even if it's fiction. Yeah, 100%.
So today we are talking about movies, which is apparently drastically different than the Disney animation episode that we just did.
Did I say anything of that nature? Is that where you... No, don't raise your eyebrows at me. I don't think I said anything like that. All I said was, hey, we haven't talked about like our favorite movies. We talked about Disney a bunch, but we haven't talked about like our favorite movies because we've shown each other.
Why can't they go hand in hand? Disney is not your favorite?
Oh, they certainly go hand in hand. There's a Disney movie in my honorable mentions here. In my queue.
Honorable mentions.
Well, it wasn't a top 5, and then I remembered a couple of movies.
I was not informed that there needed to be an honorable mention section.
I did it for the fun of it. This does not need to be that formal.
We're supposed to be a team.
To tell you.
We're supposed to be a team.
We are a team. That's why I told you in advance.
You told me 2 seconds ago.
No.
No, you're like, oh yeah, start the stream. Oh, by the way.
I just told you how I did it. It didn't matter how you did it. We're just talking about movies, something we do anyway.
Oh, also, you know this. You know the first half of this rant. You don't know the second half.
Oh.
So one of my absolute favorite. Okay, I guess it's considered a webcomic. It originally originated as a webcomic and then got pulled to be printed. It's called Nimona, which is by Noelle Stevenson, who is the one who directed or created the new She-Ra reboot on Netflix. Anyway, that graphic novel was going to be made into a movie by Blue Sky Animations. Guess
I heard about this.
I see. The other day I was like, oh, Blue Sky. I was like, oh, okay, they're dead, like Disney. And then my cousin, of all things, today was like, yeah, I'm really sorry about that Nimona thing. I was like, I didn't realize Blue Sky was making them.
They were the studio also behind the Ice Age movies.
Well, yes. Ice Age is who I know them of. And did they do Epic too and stuff?
They might have. I just know Ice Age was their big money maker for a while.
I just was like, man. Well, and it said that, okay, so when I read the article, it said that they still had 10 months worth of production. But I know how long movies take to make. So to me, I'm like, they only had 10 months left. But I guess in the long haul, that is a long period of time.
I guess it depends too if they decide to like sell off the projects or if Disney decides to keep producing said projects. Probably not. Most of the movies that might come out of there that might still be owned by Disney or need to be made by Disney are probably going to be in production hell for a long time.
Disney would not do well with Nimona because Noelle Stevenson's characters are very vibrantly queer. So I don't think Disney would be too thrilled. But I Mr. Let's shove like a man and his family in like the sauna in 5 seconds of a film. But I don't know. I was really disappointed, and it's funny because maybe someone else will pick them up. Because my first thought was like, one, they had 10 months left. Okay, fine, but that means that they had probably gotten a considerable amount done up into that point.
Roughly. I mean, again, COVID is obviously going to be the big thing. How much were they able to get done in
that's
these
true.
really weird circumstances? Movies have been made. I was on one, I know, but
well.
It really depends. Animation's got to be pretty difficult.
But then it's like Noelle Stevenson, who now I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure if they use she, her pronouns or they, them. I can't remember if it's them or their partner, but so I'm going to use they, them now because I can't remember. I mean, essentially, Blue Sky / Disney broke whatever contract they had. So, do they have to buy them out? Or because since She-Ra came out, and I think She-Ra did pretty well, Noelle Stevenson might be a bigger name now. So maybe someone is even more likely to pick them up. I don't know. It's one volume of a graphic novel, I highly recommend Nimona. Okay. Anyway, that was my sourpuss movie moment of the day.
I don't have any
irritated
of those currently. Not currently.
Also, I hear that the new Ghibli movie, Earwig and the Witch, is the worst movie they've ever made.
But were a lot of people sour going into it because of their switch in animation style? Because I know that was
not as much. No, apparently the whole movie is very short. It's only an hour and 20 minutes, and it has apparently the whole thing feels like filler. And at the very end, they reveal some stuff, and then the movie ends. Saber Spark just released one of his quick vids on it. So I watched that, and he's pretty good about not giving spoilers with his quick vids.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, I personally was not a fan of the art style. He did say that he felt like it was unfinished. The atmospheres were beautiful, but then the character models themselves didn't quite fit into those atmospheres.
Sure.
But it seemed like the story was the biggest, or lack thereof, I guess.
Yeah.
It wasn't even it was all over the place. It just apparently nothing happened.
Yeah, just nothing. It was one of those nothing movies. That sucks because we've been marathoning all the Studio Ghibli. We watched Ponyo
this weekend.
Yeah, this weekend. So enjoyed that. Very cutesy film, but I actually enjoyed it a lot.
Well, because I've watched probably 75% of them, and you've only watched a few, so we've been going through quite a bit of them.
Yeah, that's been the past project instead of a TV show. But it's been fun because I've been, I'm getting exposed to more stuff, and I know they're a big thing. It also means that once I finish those, I can watch, a documentary that I've read some cool things about. I really want to watch called The Kingdom of Madness, and I think it's Kingdom of Madness and Dreams, or Dreams of Madness, one of those. That has to do with the people who work at Studio Ghibli, so I'm really curious to watch that afterwards.
And it's funny because they'll be like, "Oh, let's watch this." We're trying to alternate between cutesy and
heavy.
Princess Mononoke. We're just. I was like, let's not do that one. I was like, let's do Ponyo, which is the two very extremes of.
Yeah, we've had nights where we're just like, we're not feeling something dark. Let's just put on Ponyo or something like that, just to watch it because it's got a cool message, but it's cute.
It's cute, and what I struggle with so much is because I like science fiction and fantasy, my Netflix watch list is so dark. And it's just so
sometimes you need to not have be dark, not to dark stuff.
I don't want to get into it. So instead I'm watching the original Card Captor Sakura, which is an old school magical girl anime, and it is the most cutesy thing. like, I read the manga series when I was younger, so I know what happens. Like, I know it gets a little bit darker and stuff, but, like, it is so, like, sickeningly sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to watch the hardcore stuff that's been in my list.
Meanwhile, I just caught up on Attack on Titan in the final season so far, which has been a nice twist of the heart with every episode, and it just gets edgier and darker, and is making my mind just, like.
What was that noise?
That's been it's been a commitment. I'll tell you that much. So, but it's been very, very, very good. So, I saved the cutesy stuff for you, and we also watched how do you say? I what's the name of the damn movie? It's the Joseph movie. The Joseph movie.
Oh, okay. All right. So, every year for Valentine's Day, Bobby and I have gone and seen a local production. We saw Fun Home the first year,
which was in Baltimore, in a local theater in Baltimore.
And then in my hometown, the local college has theater companies come in. And they did Chicago, which was fantastic.
It was.
Fun Home was also fantastic, but like Fun Home is a pretty simple set.
Yes.
As opposed to Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Fun Home, if it doesn't know, Fun Home is basically just like it's a story of a girl who goes through her young adult life, discovering how she's gay and is worried about her parents' acceptance, and then lots of weird family stuff ensues.
Well, it's called Fun Home because her dad's a funeral director, so it's funeral home.
Yeah, well, apparently, and then the name comes from the kids apparently would call it the Fun Home, and they would make mock commercials.
And that's based off of a graphic novel memoir. Like, the author, the creator was, it was her story.
That's I
from the impression. I haven't looked into it for a long time.
No, neither have I. That was 2019. I think we saw that.
Yeah. So last year we saw Chicago, and then this year I was like, I love this tradition of Valentine's Day, and we actually thought about making this a Valentine's Day episode, but like neither one of us make a lot
Not particularly. I mean, it's cute. Like Morgan asked me, Fana asked me if I know. Sorry,
the secret's out.
I know it's not a secret. I'm just I got to keep the consistency, right? Anyway, you asked me to be your Valentine over the phone before you went to bed.
Oh, but it was the most pathetic. I was like, your little sister did it, and we're older and have been in a relationship for so much longer. So why aren't you my Valentine?
Even though I did literally bring her flowers over the weekend. So.
You did. It was very sweet.
But
like I didn't... wait. So So anyway, we don't put much stock into it because you should love your partner equally every day is my philosophy, but it's an excuse to have fun and go out. Yeah. So I was like, we have to see a play. So I was like, there's like a bunch of cast recordings. I was like, you want a dumb one that's so much fun is Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, which is by Andrew Lloyd Webber, who is the one who he has done Cats, and he has done like the OG Cats, the Broadway, not the movie. Yeah. And he did Phantom of the Opera, and then he did Jesus Christ Superstar, and then this Joseph. And I was like, we have to watch this because it's so dumb. And it's a movie. It was a movie done to kind of look like it was a play, but it was originally a play. And like Joseph is played by Donny Osmond, and
it's a very meta movie where it's like it's shot like it's a professional play, but it is technically in the fictional atmosphere because they're performing for a bunch of school children who like run on stage every other scene.
Right.
So like it's a trip. It's a trip. As someone who wasn't totally familiar with the story of Joseph from the Bible, Vanna had to tell me that going into it, so I actually kind of knew what was happening. And then at that point, it was like, okay, they're going about this in a really weird way, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, and I hadn't watched it since 7th grade, 8th grade. No, 7th grade. So like, and I still knew a lot of the words, and it's like Cats in every song is a different genre. Like they're very
Yeah.
distinctly different musical styles. But
Make it clear
more extreme than
early.
Cats.
They make it clear early because
Oh,
they're
yeah,
like
and
in the middle of the desert, and then all of a sudden they're in some like crazy house, rich house thing that looks like it's from a completely different era. It's so much fun.
No, they have fun with it, and I think the
Yeah.
production is like that normally too. But as soon like the credits were rolling, and I turned to Bobby and I was like, "We could have watched like a Star Kid production on YouTube. Like we could have watched a legit
We'll
play.
watch this. It's okay. We can cheat. You know, since we can't go see the show, we can cheat a little. I also, it was funny that, you know, after we were done watching it, since you rented it from the library, we, you know, it was up there when we were done, and came upstairs and your parents were watching it right afterwards. And I was
because my
singing,
mom was they were they were like, we want to watch this.
I was singing the final song for like the rest of the day.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Not he. How you can accuse him is a mystery. And obviously that was like a Jamaican like paradise song.
That took a turn for some reason when they brought in the
Well, okay, and Pharaoh was Elvis. So like
it was hilarious. I had a lot of fun with that one. His character was really funny.
And as dumb as it is, it's pretty historically accurate.
I know, that's the thing. You told me that it basically is the story with not too much like leeway on a lot of things.
Yeah.
So it's just funny that they were like, yep, let's just take that and let's make a complete acid trip out of it. Let's go.
Now, it's no Joseph King of Dreams by DreamWorks, which was
that I've never seen.
Stunning. That is beautiful.
Right.
It was a far cry from that, but equally as enjoyable.
Right, of course.
But so we are doing our top 5 movies. Another thing that Bobby didn't tell me was that we were apparently ranking them. Oh, he's like, yeah, like top 5
hey,
movies.
Hey, people. Hey, audience members. Let me know in the comments when I say top 5. What does that mean to you? Does that mean automatically rank them or not? Because what I said was top 5 movies, and to me that means you rank them. But that's just me. It's okay. You do not need to rank them. I rank them because it pains me to do otherwise. Them now.
Well, okay, I will. That does mean rank them, but you were texting me at work. So,
what do you want me to tell you?
This is my excuse.
You got to be committed to the Lair.
We are going from the bottom
Grumble
up.
will be very mad at you.
So wait, if we're going from the bottom up, does that mean that you need to do your honorable mention first?
No, because they fall out of the place of the rankings. So you do the rankings, and hey, honorable mentions who didn't make this top 5 list are blah 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 blah.
So aren't you supposed to do honorable mentions before you announce the number 1 winner?
Well, we're not. So
that's how it works.
Well, I don't care how it works. I'm all for destroying the system. You know?
All right, go do your number 5.
Oh, I'm sorry, my number 5. Okay. I will admit my list may seem basic. There's at least one gem in there that definitely you'll expect because I've told you.
I'm hearing excuses.
It may not
for your poor taste.
Who says it's poor taste? I will explain my likes for each one as thoroughly as I can and as quickly as I can. So,
that's a first.
Shut up. That's number 5. Number 5. 2009's Avatar, James Cameron, and the
blue people.
The world, yes, as everybody knows, the blue people, not the world of Pandora or literally anything that they tried to use to create a universe. And I'll explain this one. I'll start off with this. My father, hates this movie. You
have to bleep that.
I don't think I said it all the way, but I'll
you did.
It's okay.
You did.
But he despises this movie. And his whole reason for the hatred of this movie is that he thinks it's a glorified cowboys versus Indians, which he's 100% right. He's 100% right. But my dad is also a hypocrite because he sits and watches Westerns on MeTV all day. So at what point is there a difference? The dude watches Gunsmoke like there's no tomorrow. So anywho, I like this movie a lot. One, there's a lot of it comes from the technical side of things. This movie was a pain to make from everything I understand. They had to essentially wait for technology to happen for them to actually make this film. And they're still working on the sequels, which apparently are coming out within the next year or two, finally, after 13 years. Because it was just such, the way they film it is just so insane and over the top and so way out of anything I could even remotely understand. But I've tried. But I think I love it as the visuals of it to me are absolutely gorgeous, and it's one of those things that I don't know, for some reason I'm a sucker for artistic worlds like that, and just the different little things that they added in there, like the different things the animals do, like the one bug that you tap and it flies and turns into like a rainbow and stuff like that as it spins around, or like you're drinking water from a plant. Like I felt that one. She drinks this like water from like a plant, and it looks like it's the most pure water that you've ever seen in your life. And for some reason, I just felt that deep in my soul. I'm jealous of a lot of things. Like it just looks so damn cool. So I'm that's why I like it so much. And not to mention the rewatchability on that film is actually pretty good. My sister has it on as like her comfort movie, like every other week. It's so funny. So I'm also a big Sam Worthington fan. He's the main guy in the film. I'm a big fan of his. I found him first in Terminator Salvation, which I'll talk about that in a second.
Spoiler.
Yeah, well, it's not. It's on the rankings. I'll mention why I'm saying that. But I don't know. I just like him a lot. I like his acting, and Zoe Saldana, if I'm saying her name right, sorry, who would later be part of the MCU, and then Sigourney Weaver, great cast all around. Loved it to death. So yeah, that's my number 5 so far.
So are we commenting on each other's movies?
You can if you want to. I'm sure you have something to say about this film.
I think it's a beautiful movie.
Yes.
I don't know how much substance it actually has with like story.
No, that's why I said right off the bat, like I agree with my dad that it's kind of a glorified trope. I hear that.
Right. Yeah.
I hear that. But it's a beautiful film, and a lot of the advancements it made led to a lot of the movies and how they're currently being created today. You can say that's a good or a bad thing. I will give you that. But from my point of view, I like what was done. I give James Cameron a lot of credit for going that route.
It's very screensaver worthy.
Yes.
I think it dealt with some issues with ableism by like making their wheelchair bound character like able to, like I think it dealt with that a little bit.
I hear you.
Beautiful film. I don't know if I would ever pay attention to it if it was on, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I've seen it so many times, I've kind of picked out all the intricate details that I possibly could.
And I've only ever seen it twice. I remember I really liked the girl doctor character.
Yeah, well, I think that's Sigourney Weaver, isn't it? But that's, Sigourney Weaver. So, and then, Michelle Rodriguez, I got to shout out to her as well. She's freaking awesome. Sigourney Weaver, she's great. Yeah, she's awesome. She's a badass doctor character who just smokes and curses at everybody who tries to piss her off. So, she's a great character. Again, I hear the screensaver thing, I hear the ableist comments, I hear the big tropes in the film. Trust me, I understand. I'm not here to defend that. I just every once in a while, one of those movies, even if it's kind of cheesy or kind of tropey or cliche or whatever you want to call it, at some point you gotta like the screensaverness of it, like you said.
It's beautiful.
That's really what I mainly like it for. So it's a great looking film, and I'm excited for the sequels personally. So, your turn. You got the baton.
My turn. So my number 5 is, we've talked about this before, so I'll keep it brief, is Tangled. I very much enjoy Tangled.
Yes,
I don't watch it frequently, but I very much love the story, and Flynn Rider or Eugene Fitzherbert is like one of, I think, the best like male Disney love interests.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy that film, and we've spent time talking on this, so that's all I'm really gonna say.
Yeah, no, I mean it's one of the better princess movies in my opinion. It's really good. I enjoy your fandom of it, honestly. Like I've like I said, I brag a little because that was one of the better gifts I've gotten you over the years. So I'm very happy with that. But it's a good movie. I'd sit and watch it really anytime, honestly. Mm-hmm. So.
All right, number 4.
All right, this is what I think is like the hidden gem for some people. 1957's 12 Angry Men. I
should have put that down.
I absolutely adore this film.
Yes, this film.
For those who have not seen it, it is essentially the story of 12 jurors, all white males, who are the jury of a murder by a young African American kid. And it's great. It's, you start out just in the courtroom, and then, they let the jury go discuss things. Everything else takes place in the jury room. Like the entire movie takes place in just one setting, and it's 12 men who are just completely different, have all their own motivations. They all develop in such different ways throughout the entire film, and leads to the awesome ending at it. And
I think it's important to also say it's 11 find the kid guilty and 1 does not. And if anyone knows the court system, all 12 have to be in agreement. It has to be
unanimous in the U.S. court system.
It's that the whole story is the journey of what their ultimate decision is.
Right. And you have characters who are bringing up key points, and you have characters who are, slowly like losing what their motivations are to convict this kid. And it has one of the best scenes ever when I think it's juror 10 who once it's starting to get a majority of not guilty, he goes on what is essentially a racist tirade, where it is a racist tirade, let's be real, but but he doesn't say any slurs of any kind. He's like, know how these people are, you know that they're all drinkers and they'll kill everyone on the streets. And what starts to happen is all the jurors, all of them, even the ones who are still technically in agreement with him on the guilty verdict, start to get up and turn their backs on him in just the best of way, not even saying anything. And there's an awesome put down at the end by one of the smarter jurors. I think it was juror 6.
I don't know which ones.
Yeah, I know. I had to look it up because I couldn't remember. I know it's
a very moving scene.
It is one of the best scenes ever. One of the best. And you can still see how each of them react to him and the motivations that each of them have while still kind of blowing him off. It's so good. If you have not seen it, I urge you to find it. I read the play in high school and really liked it, so I sought out the movie and I fell in love with it instantly. And I rave about this movie so much because it seems like it's considered a classic by so many different people, but at the same time, not a lot of people, I guess, in my generation have seen it, and I really need them to. And it's as relevant as it's ever going to be. So, highly recommend this film.
I love the film too, but I think I also have a passion for it because there was a Christian radio show called Adventures in Odyssey, and they did, I don't want to say a parody of this, because they weren't making fun of it. It was just very, very clearly inspired by same situation of one finds the kid innocent, the rest find him guilty. It was their version of this story for kids, and it was one of my favorite episodes. And then as I got older, I realized it was actually based off of this movie. I think we also need to make a spoiler alert thing before this episode.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Because
I'll add in a little VO in the beginning saying, "Hey, there might be some spoilers here. We're sorry."
Skip ahead.
Yeah. If you don't, maybe you just skip this all together. I don't know what to tell you really. But
don't tell them to skip it. We need those views.
True.
So my number 4 is 1986 Labyrinth by Jim Henson.
You showed me this movie.
So Jennifer Connelly's in this as a teen. David Bowie is Jareth the Goblin King. And basically the film is that this young teenage girl has to watch her baby brother, and she's reciting a play, and she wishes for the Goblin King to take him away, the little boy. And he does. So she has to go through the Goblin King's labyrinth to get him back. Now, this is one of my I don't know what to watch, so I'm just going to put it on movies, which I find that a lot of my favorite movies are that.
Right.
And I love Jim Henson's dark fantasy stuff, The Dark Crystal, the TV show Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, which got canceled after 1 season, but I understand that it was probably impossibly expensive to make.
Yeah.
I love the craftsmanship. It's just gorgeous. The music's really good, and it's just it's a great film. And of course the puppetry's in there too, even though the main cast is are humans. It's just a great film.
I loved it. We watched it in my dorm room, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that film. I'd absolutely watch that over and over, honestly.
Well, and that's just like, there's this ballroom scene, which is just stunning.
Yeah, I mean, from the beginning, everything is just gorgeous.
The cosplays, because she's essentially wearing a wedding dress eventually in this like ballroom scene, because it's like a dream sequence type thing.
Sure.
The cosplays I've seen of this dress,
right?
It's so good. But I should do it.
Yeah.
I can't even afford my own wedding dress. You think that I'm going to be able to make a cosplay? If I make this cosplay dress, it will be my wedding dress.
Well, we have a very successful podcast, so we're rich, obviously.
Oh, yes. Especially after you just told them to skip this whole episode. But yes,
great movie.
This one is more of a nostalgia one for me. Yeah, this is probably, I say my oldest favorite because it's the one that I was the youngest watching this for the first time, and I still continue to watch it pretty regularly.
Yeah, I would absolutely watch that again if we ever get around to it. But
all right, number 3.
All right, I'm gonna apologize in advance because this I'm probably gonna steal one from you here. So if I am, I would probably encourage you to maybe save whatever comments you have for when you need to explain this film. If it's in there, it might be in there. I'm pretty sure it is, but it might not be.
Is it Inception?
No.
Oh.
No. Well, we're at number 3, so no.
Okay, I figured that would be your number 1.
Yeah, of course. So, all right. Number 3, 1985's The Breakfast Club by the great John Hughes. Okay.
That is not on my list.
All right. By the great John Hughes, starring Emilio Estevez and, of course, Molly Ringwald. So, I mean...
I hate Molly Ringwald. I hate her. Let me just start with that. I despise her as an actress. I hate the princess. She was literally called the princess of that group.
Because she was.
She was the princess in that movie. I think they called her like that was what's his name? Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles. I know she was John Hughes' muse. I can't stand her. Anyway, tell me about this beloved movie of yours.
Well, this is I mentioned my dad a lot because he had a lot of obviously. He showed me this movie. Geez, when I was like middle school, I think. So I mean, this is a classic. I mean, a lot of people love this film. This is not a shock to anybody. Very talky movie, but again, one of those movies similar to 12 Angry Men, where you basically have one setting and you see all these characters develop this coming of age story about 5 people in completely different life directions who, torture each other at first while they're in detention in a library on a weekend, and as the hours pass by, they discover that they have a lot more in common than they think, and a lot of weird stuff ensues in a library, including them trying to escape at one point, or hiding drugs, or doing this and doing that. A lot of, there's definitely a lot of people who probably can relate to some piece of it in some way. Like, it's such a universally, I think, on one of those films that anybody can watch at any level and still find something to relate to. Like, it's such a great film for just that reason. Again, very talky, but if you're very much into character development and the story of just people, you're going to find something to relate to with this movie, and you're going to enjoy it every time you watch it. You're going to find something new every time.
It is a really, really good film. We actually have a picture that I call the Breakfast Club picture because it's just that, it's that kind of lighting and the simple clothes. Like, you're wearing like a big baggy sweatshirt, and I'm wearing like, just a white tank top, and it's just like that aesthetic perfectly, and it's good a movie.
It's a great movie.
Which
John Hughes and Molly Ringwald, you couldn't separate the two, could you?
She fit that role perfectly.
Well, yeah, because
I just don't like the role that she always plays.
Hey, look, it pays her money.
That's true. She was probably set for life.
Oh, there's a lot of people who are probably still getting paid from this film. Emilio Estevez included.
My number 3 is The Princess Bride.
Of course.
Which
you showed me this film.
Because you hadn't seen it, Mr. I'm a film major.
It's crazy. I mean, so I'll say this in my regard. It is one of my honorable mentions. It was almost cracking my top 5 at one point. But
I think every movie on this list of mine is from the 80s, except for Tangled. Whoops. Because Princess Bride is 87.
Yeah.
Wait, I need to see about this one. Continue.
Yeah. No.
This is my movie. Anyway, it is just so quotable.
Oh yeah.
My family, we don't say goodbye. We say, "Have fun, storm the castle." The other person says, "Do you think it'll work?" I'll say, "It'll take a miracle," and then we both yell goodbye. We have done that since I was in grade school. That's how my mom would drop us off to school. She would be yelling it as we would like walk up the hill to my school.
Yeah.
And it's a great film.
I got in a mood to watch it like when I last saw you last month.
Yes.
I got in like I was before I came to your house I was watching clips on YouTube like over and over, and I didn't because I didn't feel like quite buying or renting the film quite yet. I was like, I don't know why I've been in the mood for this movie, but like it's hitting for some reason really good right now. Like the vibe with it is just perfect. So I need to watch it again. And man, it's so good. Such a good song.
So I think also we had the perfect opportunity because we watched in our Ghibli run, we watched The Cat Returns, and the English voice for that main character is Wesley, same voice actor as Wesley from Princess Bride. I think his name is Carrie. I can't remember his last name, but I remember
Carrie Ellis.
Yes. I remember commenting to you. I was like, he essentially is legit the exact same character.
Yeah.
And
it's fun.
you this is like at midnight and you just looked at me and you're like, we could watch Princess Bride. Okay.
You fell asleep halfway through.
I did because it was midnight when we started it.
Yeah, you're an early watcher. But I mean, I gotta get shout out to Robin Wright as well. It's interesting seeing her. She was in House of Cards on Netflix, which I loved her to death in. So it's just funny seeing the polar opposite roles and the way she's been able to kind of develop too.
And I did double check. 4 out of 5 of my movies are from the 80s. Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious.
So you're number 2.
Yeah, my number 2. Okay. All right. Let's get a superhero movie in here. All right. 2008's The Dark Knight. Christopher Nolan, my favorite director. Christian Bale as Batman, but the main reason for this film is one of the greatest acting performances I've ever seen. Heath Ledger's Joker in this film is just it rattles you in a way that no one else has been able to do. Jack Nicholson's great, but Heath Ledger just hits crazy, and it sucks because this role essentially killed him. But no one is touching him with the way he performed this role. He was as sadistic, as clever, and as just unnerving as that character's ever going to get. So, and not to mention, again, it's a superhero movie, I know, but 1, love that actor. 2, Christopher Nolan's my favorite director. And, he took superhero movies and was like, let's make it as dark as possible. Mm-hmm. So he did that. And you gotta like it when it's edgy and dark and gothic. No pun intended for Gotham. But yeah, I didn't mean to. But it's so good. Even Morgan Freeman is just so fun in the movie for whatever reason. Like, I don't know. I love the vibe. I can never not watch it when it comes on. It's again one of those movies that I never get tired of watching it. So number 2, easy.
I don't have much to say because I've only seen it once.
So good.
It was a good film. Like I feel bad because it's like it was good.
Fine. I know
but
you hate my movies. You hate my.
I don't hate your movies. I just
Yeah.
Question your Molly Ringwald. Like
question my Molly Ringwald. I didn't say I have anything to say about Molly Ringwald. I just was trying to poke the bear about you a little bit because I forgot that you hated her.
Okay.
So, Dark Knight.
My number 2 is When Harry Met Sally.
Yes.
It's another one I made Bobby watch with me.
That one was on my list for a very long time, and you gave me a very good excuse to watch, so we were good.
This is my number 2. It tied for first, but I would say number 2 because I will be very honest. I'm not a fan of movies that are movie, any kind of media that's advertised as like a romance, a rom-com. Like, I know I said that like Tangled, like Eugene is the best Disney prince, but it's like it wasn't a romance movie. The romance was a part of it. It's gotten to the point where if I pick up a book that talks about like a love interest in the book sleeve, I put it down because I don't want that.
It gets cute for 2 seconds, and you've probably read most of the tropes already at this point.
And and usually they're not well written. Anyway, so when Harry Met Sally, it starts as they are two strangers that ride together across country to New York, and they hate each other's guts, and they never see each other again. It's like after college. About 5 years later, they meet up on a plane, and then I think it's like 3 years after that, they meet up again and they become friends. And it's very much that stereotypical, if we aren't married in like 20, or if we are not married to other people in 20 years, let's marry each other. But like not, they just have a good relationship. And then it of course develops into like, I do have feelings, and it's just a great, funny film. It's like, it's not a forced comedy.
Right.
And I think it helps because Sari, it's their ship name. Harry is played by Billy Crystal, who is such
you have
an
a thing
amazing...
for Billy Crystal.
Do I? Well, I guess he's Miracle Max in Big not in
Princess Bride.
But this is a movie where I want to watch something. I'm gonna watch When Harry Met Sally. That's
definitely a rewatchable movie.
Yes, and it's again a talky movie. I like talky movies.
Yes.
With like good dialogue, I find is hard to find sometimes. And there's just so many good like rants, and it's just I love it. I love it so much.
It's a great movie. I'm glad I finally watched that. It took me way too long. Way too long.
And you will watch it many more times.
Oh, I'm sure I will. I'm sure most of your movies you're mentioning here, I'm going to watch 1,000 times.
Because all these movies are my like go-to. I don't know what to watch.
Yep.
Why find something new when...
Yeah, why have all the streaming services that we both have and not use them for the sake of old
Why
classics?
have that when I have a DVD?
Yep. Old technology.
Oh, yeah.
Going on over there.
Your number one slot, sir.
Oh, no shocker to you. No shocker to you.
Is it Inception?
It would be 2010's Inception, directed by, once again, the best director to ever grace the sky green earth, Christopher Nolan. This movie doesn't get enough credit for how stacked of a cast this has.
Yes.
By the way, Leonardo DiCaprio and Joseph Gordon-Levitt as your two mains. The now Elliot Page, which love him to death. Gotta say, I'm so happy about that. By the way, and I'm so happy that they're just totally going with it, and it's not even messing up. What's it called? Geez, our show on Netflix. Why did I just completely go for my Umbrella Academy? Lost my mind there for a second. So, Elliot Page and Tom Hardy, Cillian Murphy. This movie was absolutely stacked, and I feel like it just doesn't get talked about enough. But yes, a very, 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 very stacked cast, and with a wonderful director about a thief who steals ideas from dreams. And is then told to actually plant an idea into a mind instead of steal one. And what ensues is one of the craziest mind trips with special effects and time and storytelling that one could possibly imagine. Again, I've seen this. I had a whole binger one time where I probably watched this movie 6 times in a row on like a single day. It was absurd.
Yeah, I remember that day.
Yeah, it was me procrastinating a film project I was working on in school. But it's so good, and I will never get tired of this film. There's stuff I pick out each and every single time. The storytelling in it is just so over the top fantastic. Action, little hint to romance, family values, and moral questions, and just overall Christopher Nolan saying like, hey, everything you know about dreams, yes, screw all that, we're taking it to a whole nother level, or two. So absolutely adore this film. Absolutely adore this film. Want everyone to watch if they haven't already. But it's so good. Oh.
No, I do love this movie. And I actually didn't put this movie because I don't think it's not quite. It's probably on my top 10 list.
You make me
I knew you would be talking about it, so I left it all up for you. But the thing is that I was actually watching with my little brother Doctor Strange, and you know that whole like with the big fight scene where all the buildings are crushing in on one another. He's like, "This is so awesome! This is so cool!" I was like, "Oh, honey, like." You need to see where it came from.
Oh,
and so I watched Inception with him, and he was like, oh, because the whole when Elliot Page is like building the world for the first time.
Yeah.
And just
the whole mirror sequence and just everything, all the small little details and everything. Like him picking up on what Leonardo DiCaprio's character Cobb is telling him and just how quickly he's picking it up and just the different things they're trying to get, all the paradoxes that they add in there too, like the staircase that Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character adds in all the time, and it just it's man.
But see, it's funny because like that staircase is like, you know, based on that one painting.
Yes. And
Labyrinth actually has that staircase in it too, so maybe it's all connected.
Oh, I will totally buy the theory that every movie has taken place in the same universe just for the sake of chaos. But I will never stop talking about this movie. It's so good. So good.
Oh God. Yeah.
I know you're number one because you accidentally said it, but I already knew what it was anyway.
I know I did.
Well, I know what it is anyway, because you also made me watch this movie.
Yes. 1983's The Big Chill. This movie is The Breakfast Club's bigger, better brother.
Yeah. It is a much talkier movie than Breakfast Club.
Yes. And like it doesn't... Okay, so it is 7 former college friends come back for one of the friends' funeral. The one friend, Alex commits suicide. And it's the friends coming together and them kind of realizing that none of them really knew why he committed suicide. And it is... I have watched this movie countless times, and every single time I pick up on something different. It's one of the, like, it is heart-wrenching and so funny, and just how these characters interact with one another. And I think that's why it's so much, to me, it's better than The Breakfast Club, because, like, these were friends. There's there'll be, like, one little sentence that's like, oh, crap, like, they were a couple 15 years ago. Like there's like just little tiny nuggets everywhere that makes this giant web of, like, there's this one, the one character wants to get pregnant, and she, like, her other friend just gives her a look, and she just says something along the lines of like, not like, it wasn't the right time, which she had an abortion. Like, that one little thing, that one little exchange, it tells the whole story of how she had an abortion, like, early in life. And this whole movie is just made up of those little things, and it has like one of the best lines, and I pulled it up because I want to remember it specifically, is they're all drinking and high, and they're like, one of the men is like so upset, and so he's like, Alex was such a great guy, what could have happened, we're all crap people for not knowing. And the one character is making kind of light. He's been making light of it the entire time. And they give him grief for it. And he says, a long time ago, we knew each other for a short period of time. You don't know anything about me. Nope. And just that line is such a mic drop to me. Because it is like, college, at max, they knew each other for 4 years.
Right.
And they all are, would you think they're in their 40s?
Yeah, it was late. It was late 40s. It was a long time ago.
And like, one's a lawyer, one's a doctor, and the one owns like an up and coming like shoe company, and like they have various degrees of success. Most of them are pretty successful. When you actually think about it,
they're all doing pretty well for themselves.
They're all actually doing very well for themselves.
Everybody's got their issues, but everyone's doing pretty well for themselves.
And it's just like a long time ago, we knew each other for a short period of time. And it's just
Great
like,
line.
I think it also kind of hits home because you and I are so recently out of college too. And like, think how many good connections we made in college.
Oh yeah, still friends with so many of the people that we were hanging out with in college, and talk to them, very, very frequently.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is though, as much as we're gonna try and keep in contact with everything, there's gonna be, people are gonna grow in weird directions, and it's gonna be, but obviously COVID didn't help matters. I haven't seen any of our college friends in over a year, and
I haven't seen one of our friends since I graduated.
Right in the December
2019. Like,
yeah, so it's weird to think about.
Hi, Mark. We know you're here.
Yeah, we'll always have that bond. We will always have the bond. And I think we're always going to be friends till the end of time. But we did only know each other for a short period of time. I hope we continue to know each other and continue to talk and stay connected. But yeah, a short period of time that we knew each other. But I do believe that the bond will always stay in some way, shape, or form. It's interesting.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just what will, hopefully when we get together in 20 years, it's not going to be for a funeral, but it's just, I cannot say enough that people need to watch this movie.
Jeff Goldblum's character is so fun.
Yes, he's in it.
Him.
He's a journalist. And he has this whole big speech about a rationalization.
Yeah.
And the virtues of a rationalization.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I love his thing at the end where he's doing that little show on the TV. He's like, I can't help but think that there's, what did he say? Like, I can't help but think there's a lot of sex happening right now.
Yes. So if you have a problem with like sex, drugs, and rock and roll, this is not for you. But
I do not.
I would think of this as the more developed, more mature Breakfast Club.
100%.
But if you don't like talking movies, you will not like this one.
Yes.
There is a barest semblance of a plot.
Yes.
It's more of like there are many little plots woven together in like a
you're
weekend.
Learning about the people. You're not learning about the story.
There is no story. Yeah,
right.
no.
Yeah, you're just learning about these people and how interesting their dynamics are. Is basically
their
what
relationships.
That movie is. Right.
And there's just a scene where like there's fighting, and then like a bat goes in the attic, and like the one guy just takes his racket and like kisses his wife and runs up, and then the other man's like making the bat noises and like jumps on the other. It's just, I love this movie. I love this movie.
Your eyes are actually fluttering while you're talking about this movie.
Yeah. The Big Chill. But yeah, all these are 80s movies.
You're an 80s girl, so it makes sense.
I guess. I don't know. I think they're because my parents showed, like, these are movies that my parents enjoyed.
Sure.
So I watched them when I was young with them. And they just
a lot of my taste is mine and mine alone, except for like one or two.
No, I will say my parents have shown me some movies that have been terrible.
Oh, 100%.
And if we had a little bit more planning for this episode, maybe we could have talked about I feel like 5 worst movies is a lot harder to choose.
We could do 5 worst. It would definitely be hard though. I like a lot of movies, or I find something to like in basically every movie I watch. But there's definitely been a couple films I'm like, really? Yeah. I'll name one just for the sake of it. I know you're not a big horror movie person, but have you seen any of the Halloween films?
No. I have. Okay. What I'll do is I don't like horror movies, but I'll look up the plots of them. Like I watched compilations of how to get out of every single Saw trap in every single movie one day. That was a rabbit hole I did not want to be down.
I also showed you a band who incorporates a lot of their albums based off classic horror stories. Ice Nine Kills. Shout out to the Silver Scream. Holy Lord, what a record.
Well, okay, so I know the plot of Halloween.
Okay, so now there's been a million of others after the original. So there's one, I believe it's called Halloween Resurrection.
Okay.
And I don't think you'll know who this is, but I think it for some reason has Busta Rhymes in it. A young Busta Rhymes, who's a rapper. Man, that movie sucked. Like in just the absolute worst way. Like, look, the original is kind of corny, and there's corny in throughout the entire series, but this one just took it and put it in a whole new level that I don't even think I have time to get into. It was weird. There was like the weird love stories, but then there was also like a party where people were like watching the a house on camera as Mike Myers was chasing him. They were texting each other where he was. It's really strange. So many elements. And then the ending of how he kind of dies in just in some way, but again, because it's Michael Myers, there's always another twist to how that exactly goes down. It's so weird and it was so hooking. I watched it and I'm like, what did I just really? That movie's terrible. So
well, okay, I will confess, for the longest time, I thought Michael Myers was his actor's name because who refers to a character by like their full name all the time?
Well, there's a Mike Myers who's an infamous actor.
Maybe that's what I was confused about.
He's in, you know what? People are going to
because it took me way too long to figure out that Michael Myers was the character.
Well, Mike Myers is, let me find him real quick. Oh, yeah, Austin Powers.
Oh, okay.
Duh.
Okay.
What am I doing? Yeah, I'll say I haven't seen the Austin Powers films. So, I think I saw the first one, but I haven't seen it in a very long time. So forgive me for that one. But the last time I saw him was in Inglourious Bastards, which is a Quentin Tarantino film. He has a scene in that. So yeah, Mike Myers, obviously. Yeah, Austin Powers. I'm dumb. I'm gonna get grilled for that, but I never cared for that franchise. Yeah, so that could have been the easy mix. But yeah, Michael Myers, and then there's Jason Voorhees, and then
Jamie Lee Curtis is actually in it.
Yes, she is.
That was one of her. I think I was one of the YouTube channel was doing like actors through their careers, and so I was watching one of Jamie Lee Curtis, and I was like, oh, I had no idea, but I had never seen the film.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot he's Shrek too.
Yes, that's why. I knew Mike Myers was Shrek, and my webcam just went way out of focus.
We're gonna get grilled for just not knowing this. It's so funny. Anyway,
so my worst movie that just pops in my head because it's the most recent one I watched. Midsummer. And the reason I say this, get back here. Come back on screen. Come back. The reason I say this is because it is a beautiful film. And I am all for the like, get it girl. Like, woohoo. Beautiful film. The plot, yes, it's there. Like, okay. I have never had such a physical, visceral reaction to a movie. I went upstairs and dry heaved after it was. I got through it, but I went upstairs to my bathroom and dry heaved. I have never had a movie that physically made me nauseous like that.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I say it's it's not a bad movie, but it's one of the worst movies for me. Like, I got through it, but I was like, my stomach was turning the entire time. And then dry heaved in the toilet because I honestly believed that I was going to throw up.
Yeah, it was completely my fault. I wanted to watch it, and I made her, and she was.
It was
gorgeous. The plot was
film.
insane. It was just. It was definitely a very grotesque film at times.
Oh,
I was okay. There was a couple scenes I was like, but it was fine. If we're gonna briefly mention movies that made you have a physical reaction, I got to mention mine because I've never cared for gore.
Okay.
Until I was shown in an experimental cinema class by my lovely professor, shout out Christopher Ernst,
Chris Ernst,
who showed me this movie and I wanted to leave. The movie is I believe it's Japanese. It's a Japanese film called Tetsuo the Iron Man from 1989. Let me read for you the
I think I know this movie.
Let me read for you the plot line, okay?
You don't have to, though.
NSFW, by the way. A businessman accidentally kills the metal fetishist, who gets his revenge by slowly turning the man into a grotesque hybrid of flesh and rusty metal. It's as bad as you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
It is. You see everything, and you see everything get ripped apart. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't even want to continue talking. It's not. Here's the funny thing. I like when people just go all out in movies, but this was a whole other level to which I was walking out and questioning why. Like, it just, this movie will forever be in my head. I had to look down for a good 10 minutes just so I didn't throw up in the middle of class. It was actually insane. Now, now to give Ernst credit, he obviously said, you can leave if you're not comfortable, but me being me, I'm like, I don't want to miss this because I'm never going to go back and watch this. So. I stayed and regret it. I believe the director is Shinya Tsukamoto. No, I can't recommend it. If you're into this, go for it. I can't recommend this movie.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, what are your honorable mentions?
Okay, so honorable mentions Princess Bride, as was mentioned in yours. So
mine was Inception. Okay, so let's.
We're good. Miracle, which I've talked about before, Disney movie 2004 about the U.S. hockey team and the Miracle on Ice.
All right, I'm thinking of mine as I.
Okay. So do you want to chime in? Okay.
Yeah, Kung Fu Panda, because
I like the movie.
Because it's a really good movie.
It's fun. It's a good movie.
It's really funny. But this one is absolutely a nostalgia thing because my brother used to be able to quote it word for word. And would do so because my parents liked to lock us outside to do yard work for an hour at a time during the summer. And he would quote it to pass the time. So I was literally...
No singing sea shanties.
This is like little 10-year-old us. Like... He is just from memory saying the whole thing. And I'm like weeding and I'm like, keep going.
So it's like the people who can, it's like the B-movie memes about all that. Oh, dude.
But yeah, that is one of my honorable mentions purely because it has such a fond family memory for me. Plus it's a good movie in general.
Yeah.
Not an 80s film.
Yeah, I got two more. So my other one is 2015's The Big Short, which has Steve Carell in a serious role, along with Ryan Gosling and I'm forgetting one other big person off the top of my head, but whatever. Oh, Brad Pitt. What am I talking about?
Okay.
Sorry, because he has a weird role in the film. The Big Short talks about the 2008 economy crash in the United States, the housing bubble and everything of that nature. Now, obviously that might sound boring to you, but the way this movie presents Christian Bale's in it too. Jesus. The way they tell the story from so many different viewpoints, and it's also like it's like very chaotic filmmaking. Like they have all these weird like what's it called when somebody makes like a special appearance in a movie? Like
cameo.
A cameo.
Come on, filmmaker. What was that?
I'm on the spot. I can never think of what I'm talking about. So, a lot of different celebrity cameos from like Selena Gomez to Margaret Robbie to
that's
Anthony
why you like it.
To Anthony Bourdain. Okay, I love Margaret Robbie. I'm sorry. To Anthony Bourdain. There was a lot of really, really cool celebrity cameos. But again, it talks about the financial crisis from so many different viewpoints, and it's like it gets montagey and artsy at times. It's so funny. Like, and Ryan Gosling basically narrates the whole thing too at times. It's so good in the way it tells the story. And I don't know, the clips of it, the various scenes from it, I always find myself going back and watching on YouTube or something like that. For some reason, it's a really addicting movie.
I don't think I've seen it, but I do. You're selling it to me.
Yeah, am I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. We'll watch it. I'm always down to watch this movie. I really like it. The subject sounds boring, but the way it's told is a lot better.
My honorable mention is Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Another movie you made me watch.
Yes. So, very, very good. I was actually cosplayed at my first like real convention. I cosplayed as Howl. My mom helped me make like the actual jacket, which is so cool. And it was such an amazing feeling having people like stop and ask for my, like to take pictures with me, or to like I think what was more fun than like the asking for pictures is like I could hear people talking about me as I walked by. I'm like, oh my god, she's Hal. I think actually some people didn't realize that I was a girl because I had such a billowy shirt and stuff, which I also kind of thought was fun because like in every day it's very, I have a lot of curves, so it's very clear that I am female or female presenting. So that was, I had never had any kind of sense of androgyny, which was kind of cool too. But anyway, that has nothing really to do with the film. But the film's really cool. The book, the best thing about the book, because it's based off of a children's book by Diana Jones, I think her name is, or Diane Jones, is I saw something that was like, the book or the movie is from Hal's point of view. The book is if it was from Sophie's point of view, which those are the two leads.
Right.
But Ghibli movies don't always quite make sense, and this is definitely one of them.
They're artsy.
But yeah, they're very artsy, and I do love that film.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, isn't Billy Crystal in that one too? Isn't he Calcifer? Wait, maybe I do have a problem.
I tried to tell you. You didn't want to believe me. I tried to tell you.
He's just a good actor. He has a distinct voice that I love. Anyway, what is yours? And I'll try to come up with another one for me.
I just have one more.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Hutcherson's in that movie, by the way.
Yeah, he's the kid.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. I actually completely forgot
when he was
about
a baby.
That's right. All right, yeah. So I just got one more. 2014 David Fincher Gone Girl.
I haven't seen this one.
Try
not to spoil. I
will not spoil anything here.
I know what happens.
Yes.
But for other people, this is a major spoiler type territory.
I have a weird memory with this film because I had a bad accident when I was in my late years of high school, and I was laid up for a summer. So of course, movie watching and everything of that nature ensued. Gone Girl was one of my picks because I was a big fan of Film Riot, the YouTube channel at the time, as I was learning my craft, if you will. And he discussed the cinematography of this film at to infinitum, right? But I was curious and I liked the plot sounded cool. Which the plot is basically this guy's wife disappears. It becomes a national story, and there's a lot of things that unravel about his, love life and, if he killed her and this, that, and there's a lot of really cool stuff. It's for some reason this film just sticks with me because I never read the book or if it was a book, right? It was a book. And
Gone Girl, yes, it's by Gillian Flynn.
Yeah. So I never read the book, knew nothing about it going into it. The twists and turns at this movie,
Gillian Flynn, I got that right. Woo!
The twists and turns that this movie took were so out of left field for me at the time. Like I haven't had a movie make me feel like that since. Where I actually felt shocked by a lot of the ways it went about itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, a lot of chaotic filmmaking going into it. Ben Affleck's the lead. It's got Rosamund Pike and Neil Patrick Harris plays a nice role in this as well. It's a chaotic, over the top film. Love it a lot. Highly recommend. I just didn't quite make the top 5 list just because again, I mentioned how it makes me feel and how it gets me so anxious like watching the movie that the rewatchability is near impossible for me. So it's a really good film. I want to show you. But,
yeah, I definitely want to see it.
But it's a very, very good movie.
I know the spoiler, but I don't know how they get to the spoiler, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I understand.
I'm gonna quickly shoot out 3.
Go for it.
Knives Out. I'm trying to think of more recent ones.
In theaters. Oh, so
trying to think of more recent ones. Knives Out.
Love Knives Out.
The Netflix movie. The Old Guard, which is not my kind of film ever, but I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, you did show me that film
because I watched it with my friend, and then I made you watch it with me again, like a week
which was a good movie. And there's a sequel coming, right?
I'm not sure.
It's supposed to be
because they alluded to a sequel because after in an end credit scene, and then it's based off of a comic book series. And then The Sixth Sense.
I never saw it, and I'm annoyed that I haven't saw it.
Yeah,
that's one of those movies that it has been.
I thought you watched that with me.
The Sixth Sense? No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay, because I watched it relatively recently.
I did. I don't.
You would know if you'd seen it.
Yeah, I don't think so. No. No, we don't watch Sixth
that's
Sense.
Also isn't that going back to an older movie?
By any chance, are you mixing it up with the old Brad Pitt movie we watched, 7?
Memento? Oh no.
No, Memento is not Brad Pitt. That's one of Christopher Nolan's first films.
Yes. No, I'm definitely thinking Sixth Sense with Bruce Willis.
Okay. Because the a lot of the cover and the art and the scenes look pretty similar, or like the style of it. So that's why I was just curious if you were. So we watched that a couple years ago. So
those are some more rapid fire. I enjoyed those movies. I mean, there's a million other movies that I also love.
Oh, I should also, I guess, one more classic. I got to put in Shawshank Redemption.
Yes, that was a good one. I don't know if I could watch that one a lot, but I really enjoyed it.
I watch clips from that movie constantly. It's really, again, one of those things.
Because I think for our 2-year anniversary, we compiled a list and we were like, in this weekend, let's see how many of these movies we can watch. So we watched 7, Shawshank Redemption, Casablanca, Memento. Wasn't there another one? Did we only get through 4? That's pretty sad.
I might have the Letterboxd list. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the list. Nope, I got it. Oh, we watched Her.
Oh yeah, that one was pretty good.
Another great movie.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was like, I know we're missing one. I just can't remember what it is. Yep, I have the list on Letterboxd still. Which, by the way, love Letterboxd. By the way, if you don't have Letterboxd, get Letterboxd. And
Letterboxd is kind of like the Goodreads for movies, right?
Yep, exactly. So I'll share some from my profile, I guess. I'm not as active. It's starting to finally pop off. There's a lot of people like finally using it. I use it just to log all my movies that I watch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to, oh man, why is it not showing me how many I watched? It usually tells you how many movies you've seen, but
dude, your computer listens all the time because I just like randomly went to a webpage and immediately Howl's Moving Castle came up.
Yeah.
It's Diana Wayne Jones wrote Howl's Moving Castle.
I supposedly have seen over 430 films in my lifetime.
Really?
Supposedly. Based on the ones that I definitely know that I've seen. That I've logged. So that's, there's probably ones I'm missing, but there's definitely some movies that I wish I hadn't seen, but that's another bad movie. Kidnap, Halle Berry.
Oh, is that she's the 911 operator?
No, her kid gets kidnapped at like a fair, and then she drives in her minivan, tries to chase him down for most of the movie. But like literally most of the movie is like her catching her breath in different camera angles inside the minivan. And then on top of that, like she like does these crazy stunts with the minivan, and I'm just sitting like, look, I get there's a lot of unrealistic things in movies. I get it. That doesn't go by me. But seriously,
but the minivan.
I'm watching this big ass Chrysler minivan get torn apart, and somehow she's still chasing after them at full speed. I'm like, that transmission's gone after the first jump. Are you kidding me?
That's like that big van in Inception.
I know, but
that tanker heavy.
But that's a tank. This is a minivan. Like, this is your average, like, just day to day, go to work, go drop the kids off, take them to soccer practice or whatever kind of minivan. This isn't like a work van. It's a minivan. Literally, the line literally says, the log line, a mother, in parentheses, in her minivan, stops at nothing to recover her kidnapped son. This movie sucks. Okay? God, this movie sucks.
I thought you were harping on the van, but if it's in the tagline.
Yeah, no, there's a reason. Look, if they're going to make it a point, I'm going to harp on the fact that they're literally putting it in there. So please. Sorry, I looked at my list and I saw that there and I'm like, oh, I can't let this go unpunished.
Well, on that happy note, if Bobby sees you in a minivan, run. Hopefully your van works as well as Hallie's. But thank you guys so much for listening. And I mean, let us know. Do you agree with our list? Do you think Billy Crystal has a good voice? Do you think Bobby?
Do you think Molly Ringwald sucks at her roles?
Do you think Bobby has a crush on Christopher Nolan? Like,
a little bit.
Just let us know down below.
And give us movie recommendations. We're desperate, honestly.
Yes. we need to add to the list.
The ever-expanding list of TV shows and movies that we watch together.
Yeah. Give us a like, subscribe if you're listening to us on your favorite podcasting streaming site. Give us a 5-star review. It would help us find other people who have to listen to our interests, unfortunately. But thank you guys for coming to the Lair. See ya!